guys? Hope you're doing well today. So basically we're going to solve this question, find the power of k size subarray 1. So I hopefully have already read through the description, although I don't get it what the description want to say, but I got how to solve this question. So the question says that we have given this array, I've picked the test case 1 from the question itself, and we have given the size of the subarray. So what does it tells is we have to give us a array of size n minus k plus 1, which comes out to be what, man? Just guess it, man. It's simple, man. 7 minus 3 and then plus 1. And after doing the calculation from the calculator, I got the answer 5. Yeah. So this is the how do we get the 5 as an answer. So basically, if we are given the size k, we can divide this array into 5 subarrays like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So if I try to pick this array, I'm gonna give the maximum value of it only if these numbers are in consecutive form as well as they are in ascending order, which means that if I try to pick 1 and check right side of it, the adjacent value of it 2. Before we do, what does it tell? How the 2 is consecutive. If we try to add plus 1 to this number itself, it's gonna give me 2. So that's why this is consecutive. Next, we're gonna check this. Is this consecutive? Yes. If I try to plus 1, it comes out to be 3. So guys, do we need to check that it's ascending order? Hell no, man. If it is incrementing, it's obvious that this is ascending order. So what we're gonna do? Are we simply going to use a max function like in maths? Like in Python, we're gonna put a max function. Hell no, man. If they want us to get the maximum value, we can just pick this one, the last element, since it's gonna be maximum as it is ascending order. So we can simply put 3 in it. Then after that, we're gonna check this array. This is 2. Let me just change the color, man. It's just overlapping too much. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, so we got this array. Now again we're gonna check 2, 3, 4. They are in consecutive order. It's so simple, man. Just add plus 1 into it and it's ascending. So we're gonna give the answer 4. Now here the twist comes. As you can see, 3, 4, 3. It is moving in this way. Consecutive, then decreasing. It is consecutive at this part of the time, 3 and 4, but once we reach this 3, it's decreased by 1. Although it is consecutive, but it is decreasing order. So we're gonna return minus 1 in it. Then after that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna check another subarray since we have to iterate 5 times, which is n minus k plus 1. So 3, 4, 2. Yes, the array is consecutive, but there is one more catch, as the question says, that it can be consecutive, but one more thing, it should be in ascending order. So although it is consecutive, but the thing is, it is decreasing order. So we're gonna return minus 1. And then after that, we reached last subarray, which is 3, 2, 5. As you can see, it is neither consecutive nor ascending order. So we're gonna give the answer minus 1. So this is the output which the question want us. So how can we solve this question? So it is a pretty brute force way, but I'm gonna tell you a pretty easy way to solve this question. Guys, the optimistic way to solve this question is basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a variable c, which we're gonna say the consecutive number, and we're gonna take another variable store the values, which is the variable itself is an array. And the size of the array is n minus k plus 1, which I've told you or already mentioned in the question. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to use a two-pointer approach and the sliding window approach, and both are combined in this question. So let's say we are at this initial position. Since we are at the initial position, the consecutive value is defined, initialized as 1 since we have one value in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to iterate over all over the array in R by using the pointer R. So first we're going to iterate over this R, and we're going to check the R, the previous R, which is this one, and this R. If I try to add plus 1 into it, I found out that this is 2. So it means that I got another consecutive number. So I'm gonna increment it and gonna say 2. Now after that, again I try to increment the value of R. Now at this point I have reached 3. As I can see that if I try to add plus 1 to it, and it comes out to be 3. So our consecutive number is become 3 right now. So what can you guys observe? Again we're gonna iterate the value of R. Now at this point, what we can see is we have just exceed the limit. I mean, at this point, if we were at this stage, if I try to do, let me just change the color, guys, for making it more clear, since it is overlapping the colors. So if I to make a difference of R minus L and then plus 1, why the hell why do we need to do a plus 1? So guys, basically in the array, it starts from 0. So that's why there's a plus 1 to get the accurate value of the length. So once it is equal to K, as you can see right over here, since it was the index was 2 and the index of this was 0, so it comes out to be equal to 3. So this is the first array which we have found, which we have encountered. So in this first array, what we can see is since the consecutive numbers which we have is 3, and the special thing about this is since if the consecutive number equals to the value of the k, which means that the array which we have three consecutive numbers and it is in ascending order since we have checked by adding the plus one in it. So basically, which means that this is the subarray whose maximum values we want. But guys, don't be foolish. I mean, don't use the max function of the Python. I mean, because in ascending order we know that the last element is the biggest one. So I'm gonna put 3 right over here. Then I'm gonna move the right pointer right at this position, which is a value of 4. Now what we can guys observe is that since r is increased, then it is obvious that it is greater than this. So what does it tell us? That we need to shrink the value of the window. Since shrinking means that we're gonna move our left pointer right over here. L will be right here. So what guys can you observe is that once I try to move the left pointer, I see that one of my consecutive number is decreased. So I'm gonna simply reduce it to 2. But at the same time, since the right pointer is moved, which means that I have also encountered that if I try to add plus 1 to this 3, it becomes a consecutive number, which is 4. So yeah, so I'm gonna increase the value of 3 to 3. Now again, we have encountered the condition in which the difference of these two pointer is equivalent to this 3. So again, we're gonna check the value of counter is equal to this. So basically means this is also the subarray whom which we need to return the maximum value, which is 4, and the last value. The last value is basically the position of right pointer. Then after that, we again going to increment the value of r. Now at this point, we've encountered that again the size increased, the k size. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the left pointer over here, and it's gonna repeat since 2 was a positive number. It is I mean exit from the sliding window, so it comes up with 2. But at this case, I mean guys, let me change the color again. Let it be rainbow. Yeah. So basically, I mean, not that rainbow, bro. Yeah. So basically, as you can see, is 3, 4, 3. Although this portion is consecutive ascending, but at this portion, what we can see, 4 and 3 are consecutive number. Yes, it is. But it is not ascending. But the question says that we want the consecutive and ascending order. So guys, so basically, what can we do, right? In this portion, which means that this is not the subarray which we want, since the count is 2 and it is not equal to 3. And although we have subarray of 3, 4, 3, so we're going to return -1 as the portion want us. Then after that, we will move to this subarray by doing the same thing. R move over here, L move over here. And again, we found out that although this is a consecutive subarray 432, but it is not ascending order, so the power is going to be -1, and then so on. So let's go ahead, just try to code it up. So what do we need? So first of all, we need the length of the array which we have, and it is going to be nums. Then after that, we need 2 pointers, left and right pointer. And after that, we need a counter which count the number of consecutive numbers which we have right now. Since we're gonna start with the first value, so that's why we initialize the value to 1. Now we need an array to store the values from where we gonna, I mean, get it. I mean, you got it, man. This is the output array. So we know that r gonna iterate over all over the nums. So we simply do this condition where r is less than n. So first condition is going to be that we are going to check that the current nums array, which is r minus 1 plus 1, if equals to the nums of r, which means that we are simply checking that do the, I mean, the current number which we have, does it have a consecutive next number? If it does, then we're gonna increase the value of the count. And as you can guys observe, n plus 1, which means that r is 1. So if I try to do this operation at the first iteration, it's gonna give me the negative -1 value. Although it won't go outer bound, it's gonna give us the last value as it is Python. But just to be in safer side, we're gonna say that r should be greater than 0, so that just to be make sure, I mean, to make the code clear. It gonna otherwise it gonna just mess up the code and the logic. Yeah. So after that, what we're gonna check is if we found out that if I try to do a difference of r minus l plus 1, if it equal, I mean I mean guys, I mean just ignore that shit. Yeah, if r minus 1 r minus l plus 1 is equal to the value of k, what does it tell? That we have encountered our sub array, the first subarray. We have encountered the subarray. So what we're gonna do? I mean, simply we're gonna append the value. But what value, man? If my consecutive number is equal to the value of k, which means that it satisfies all the condition which I've shown you guys in the visual explanation, that it is consecutive and also it is I mean in sorted order. So I'm gonna return the maximum value. What is the maximum value? It is the right pointer value, the last element of it. Else I'm gonna return the value of append of, I mean, -1. Yeah, as you can see right over here. Otherwise, it's gonna give us a value of -1. So yeah, after that, what we need to do, guys? I mean, there is one more case. What if the sub array size exceed? Exceed basically means that if r minus l plus 1 is greater than k, in this case, what we need to do is, since there must be an element which is getting out, so if I try to do nums of l plus 1, if it equivalent to the nums of l itself, I mean l plus 1, the next of it, the adjacent value, so it basically means that, bro, I mean, let's just let me just zoom it, fix it for you guys. So yeah, so basically what does mean is that we're gonna decrease the value of constant number since it doesn't exist anymore. Then we're gonna increase the value of L by 1. And in the end, we're gonna increment the value of R by 1. And in the end, we're gonna return the result array. Hopefully that it will work. I just hope, man. I don't know. Okay, it doesn't work. So let me check what could be the cause of error. So it is not appending. I guess there must be some reason behind it why it's not doing it. Okay, so guys, the main reason why the code is not working, I think this condition need to be checked first. So there is a reason behind it. If I try to run this code, now hopefully this thing will work. Yeah, so it is working, guys, and that's how we do it. Maybe this one reason behind is this, the accuracy about the counting variable. So basically, if I try to do it after this, it's gonna mess up the consistency. So that's why we need to put this thing right over here. Yeah, that's all.